giving free
Thank
produce
you.
bags to community members, that was
I
totally awesome.
know. I know. It's insane. I mean, like, this was my first time being a part of something like this to give free fresh produce bags. Of course, I did community service before, but it's like, wow, I mean, such awesome quality. It's, of course, because it's growing on the beautiful island of Kauai. But yeah, I mean, I'm a part of Malama Kauai. So they are a nonprofit organization and they advocate and also educate about sustainability. So yeah, so we from the farmers to the community members, you know, they're both. I just saw appreciation and just so much like happiness on both ends. We were able to support the farmers and also the community, which was awesome. And for us volunteers and for myself, I can say we're just so fortunate to have such an awesome supportive community.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, thanks already, from all of us here that you're so involved and help everyone out, especially for sustainability. It's
Of
something that is
course.
totally necessary, right? We all we need to work together in order to, solve the world's problems. And so, volunteering is one of the great things. But so how did it all work at Malama Kauai? How did you get involved with it? And then especially how were you able to pay for, the produce bags and all the things that you're doing? How did that
Right.
all go about?
Right. I think that's one of the biggest questions. It's a really good question, right? It's like, oh, free fresh produce. Where did this all come from? You know? And so so first and foremost, I've been home for a while and I haven't been home for a long time, right? Life gets in the way, I have college, I get any kind of stuff, yeah. So but now that with the pandemic, I've been home for quite some time and uh I wanted to, and even before the pandemic, I wanted to stay home and do something, get involved. And so this was a perfect opportunity. So I looked up online, as anyone would nowadays, like, oh, like, organizations to work with. And I came across Malama Kauai. And so I wanted to volunteer for them because I looked at their mission statement, I looked at their values, which are Aina, community, and also culture, and it really aligned with mine. And so, yep, started volunteering for them in June. That's when the program kind of started up around there.
Mm.
And so so the USDA, they funded Malama Kauai to give to buy the farmers' produce.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, so then they buy the farmers' produce. So basically, the farmers they pack bags of produce, whatever they have, fruits and vegetables. And so each bag is worth $20. So
Oh.
$10 of fruit and $10 of vegetables, and it makes a $20 bag. So they come and then they unload all of the bags. Yeah, that's how I got these guns. Just kidding. But anyway, unload all the bags, and so we go help out. Yeah, us guys. And so then we pay the farmers. And then after that, we just make it all nice. We put like the Malama Kauai stickers and logo. And yeah, and sometimes farmers, they only produce fruit. So maybe one farmer produces bananas. And so then another farmer only produces vegetables. And then we can make a bag together. Yeah, so we pack all the bags, make it nice. And then when the time rolls around, we distribute it to the community. So a lot of the community members, they come up to us, they're like, hey, because we put out signs, yeah, like, oh, we get fresh produce. So they say, oh yeah, how do I sign up? How do I get involved? And we said, oh, we just give to whoever's in need. And so they don't have to sign up. We just had to take down just like their name and phone number, how many kids, how many adults. And yeah, and then they were off with their produce, and it was amazing. There were so many people that expressed how happy they were,
Mhm.
and how fortunate that they were to this program, or how fortunate they were because of this program. So yeah, it was just amazing to be a part of.
No, that's great. That sounds so interesting. I mean, I can only imagine all the people that you meet and, just, the
Oh
kind of the joy you feel of being involved and kind of helping. And I mean, there was something in your video where that was mentioned in pretty much the very last part of it,
got it.
which was this word kokua, right?
Right.
It means to kind of, to help out and, to be involved and, kind of be an active member of the community as opposed to simply just being in a neighborhood. Right. And,
Right.
yeah, so that points to already sustainability in kind of the Hawaiian culture, right? As we can see it, not only with the food being part of the Aloha Plus
Right.
challenge, right, but also kind of, just, like all these different words that are part of kind of a sustainable behavior that
Mm.
we have never thought about as being sustainability, but then they totally are, right? It's something that we're now attaching this term to.
Definitely. I mean, before, I thought growing up, sustainability meant, oh, okay, let's plant a bunch of trees or like let's reduce, reuse, recycle, which it is a part of it, right? But, sustainability is a lot broader than that. There's like three pillars, correct me if I'm wrong, but environmental, economic, and social.
Absolutely.
And so it's important. Sustainability is very much relevant and important today. And to relate it back to food distributions, what I have been doing, it relates to each of the pillars. So economic, able to support the farmers' income, their livelihoods. Environmental, of course, so we don't like waste any food, because if they can't sell the fruits and vegetables, it's gonna go to waste, right? And it's just kind of whole waste. um, and also the social aspect, of course, giving back to the community and supporting their well-being and health too.
Yeah, and it's great that you mentioned kind of the three pillars of sustainability. So, of course, we all know about the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, and all these different things, right? In your video, one of the biggest ones that
Right.
was featured was zero hunger, and so there it is actually. And when we're looking at Hawaii, it's definitely something that even has more of a community understanding there, because Hawaii is one of the only places that has kind of taken the 17 goals and made them
Mm.
kind of implemented them or applied them to the Hawaiian community and made six goals out of them, right? One being local food production. It was just totally leading into what you're saying. And so it's really great to see that, people are being involved in, trying to help that and trying to, stimulate local economies and helping people all around, right? Because we really are our community, right?
Definitely.
Desmond Tutu, Archbishop of South Africa, once said that we are because we belong, right? So totally leading
Yes.
into this community understanding of, a social life that is not just, different places living next to each other or living in different places next to each other, essentially, but really having a
Right.
bond that is a community. Right, so it's
Right.
absolutely great to see that you're so involved with it. So how did you kind of, what did you observe in the time that you've been working with Malama Kauai? Have more and more people become more aware about it, or have you maybe
Right.
heard about it in your community? People talking about it and things. So, like, what is your view about things? How have they changed?
Oh my gosh. Like living on this small island, if you say something, then, that person gonna tell that person that, it's just kind of like a domino effect.
Hmm.
So in the first week, it was pretty slow, yeah, because the news about it was kind of still going out. We were on the radio. Hey, we have like fresh produce like distributions and stuff. But yeah, it just became more busier and busier. There were more people that were coming, and it was just awesome to see, because not only do they get fresh produce, for families in need, but they also support the farmers in return as well, taking
Hmm.
their fresh produce, yeah? And just knowing about the different farms all over the island that make such awesome like stuff, awesome fruits and vegetables. I think one of the many things in being part of this volunteer that made me so like, oh my gosh, like I can't explain it. I was just so happy to see was so we unload the packages from their vans. Yeah,
Hmm.
and that's again how I got these guns. Just kidding. But how we unpack the packages from the vans. Farmers would come one at a time, but most of them, or if any, like all of them, really just kind of stayed behind, even if they unloaded all of their packages. And again, a sense of community and support. So they stayed behind because they helped the other farmers to unload, and they also helped us in return too. So it was just so cool, like to see everyone like working together and unloading the packages. Like everyone is here for the same purpose and the same reasons, but yet we still all support one another. Like even during this time of need, we all just we're here for each other, and that's what was really amazing about it.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, it's something that definitely transcends, right, from the workplace. So it's something that suddenly you feel like, wow, the community is come, so much closer during this, pandemic. So
Right.
while it always seemed like we're getting more and more individualized, like where we
Mm.
are kind of not caring so much about our neighbors anymore, where we don't care so much about the community. We're basically like a
Yeah.
collection of individuals rather than a true kind of community, right? Where everyone
Right.
grips into one another and helps each other out, kind of like a clockwork, right? In order to, make the time move and progress, right?
Right.
To better
And
times.
definitely. And it's interesting, right? Because during this time, I mean, Hawaii itself is very supportive and that sense of ohana is still alive. But even during this time when we're isolating, we're isolated essentially, right? We have to stay in our homes and all that kind of stuff, follow the CDC regulations. But you still see this support and this togetherness, right? Everyone supporting one another. So that's awesome to see.
Yeah, it seems to be such a case of like, like you only recognize you miss something when it's gone, right? So maybe
Oh
that was one of the
yeah.
positive aspects, right, of the pandemic, which was of course horrible, or still is, right? We're still in the middle of
Oh
it,
yeah. Oh my
and
goodness.
so, but it seems like it had already some positive aspects in terms of people's thinking, and all of the different movements that we've had in the past few months, from Black Lives Matter to climate change movements to
Definitely.
all these great
Definitely.
things that people have suddenly started to be more aware of and act upon. So that's definitely something that stems back to just a community thought, and seeing injustice, and seeing so many
Hmm.
things, and that definitely relates to food as well, right? I mean, we have so much food in the richer nations, in some places where we throw away more than 50%, and then we have so many other people where like starvation is still one of the leading causes of death,
Right.
where people are
Yeah.
insecure. 900 million people are food insecure, around the
Wow.
world. So it's really something where they don't know where their next meal is coming from. So maybe by
Yeah.
kind of relating more to other people, and thinking, okay, how can I change my behavior in order to bring out the best out of you,
Hmm.
right? And help you to achieve your goals, because we're all in the same boat essentially, right? So
Right.
maybe that's something that
Absolutely.
has really improved, and it's very interesting, I think, when we look at what positive impacts negative things can have
Right.
too.
And sort of the other takeaway that I got from the community service was, apart from being sustainability and seeing just the awesome support we all have for each other, was just learning about the different fruits and vegetables. And I had no idea there's certain stuff that we grow over here. I thought only the mainland get, yeah, and then they transport it over here. But I was like, what? Like they,
Mhm.
So for example. Oh my gosh, there's so many examples, like just the beautiful stuff that's just grown here, and I just never knew because we go to the market, yeah, we get produce and any kind from the mainland stuff, which is awesome too. But supporting local is very important, and from this experience, it's like, oh my goodness, like we make awesome stuff, like this beautiful, beautiful onions and gingers, and so I really push people to learn more about the types of like produce and things that are made from their own island, because it's just as beautiful as anything else in the world. And the fact that you live here, right? And it's like you're connected to the land. You understand what comes from the land, and that you continue to nurture it and take care of it. So hence Malama Kauai, we take care of Kauai. Yeah, we Malama, we take care.